Alright, hello and welcome everyone. I gotta get my camera set up here. Apparently it was not set up, so it's looking better now. Welcome to the stream. If you're joining this live, be sure to say hello in the chat. I gotta get just a couple things set up here on my end and then we will get into this. All right. So this is an ongoing series that I've been doing. It's the examination of Fomenko's new chronology. What I've been doing is going through his 7-volume series line by line to see if I can get information that is supported or information that contradicts what he's saying. And this is part 8 of it. It's going to be focusing on radiocarbon dating and the Shroud of Turin. And so before I begin, I just want to remind everyone I got donation links in the description, and this takes a lot of time and knowledge and understanding to be able to go through this amount of information. So any donation, any thing you can spare is welcome and very helpful. So I also have something if you want to donate, but you also want to get something back. I got a Ctruth Patreon account that you can go to. I got a link on the homepage of my website right here. There's also a link to join in the description to this video. But I'm thankful for all my patrons, and I offer a few different things for you. I do monthly update videos to tell you what I've been up to over the past month. I am starting to do these weekly live reaction videos and polls so that you can choose what video you want me to respond to. So if you've been looking into something cool related to history or chronology, you can suggest me look into that and I will review it live, so you can kind of influence some of the stuff that I'm exposed to there. And then I've got a limited series here, Killing Time, and I offer at the end of all my videos that I edit, not these live streams, I roll the Ctruth credits and give thanks to all my patrons, so you can get a name added to that. You can choose something funny if you want, or just use your actual name. I have quite a few different names on there. But if you want to get something back for your money and support me at the same time, check out the Ctruth Patreon page. Other than that, this is the homepage of the website. If you don't know how to get around, I have a few different things here that you can use. You can search the site for specific words. Like you can see, I've been looking up time, articles, and Josephus and calendars. But for today, we're going to be going into the wing of Fomenko's new chronology, which is the idea that human civilization dawned around 1,000 to 1,200 years ago. I'm going into the examination because this is where I keep all of the articles that I have related to what I am going to be covering today. So I have a little overview, a little history of the exam, but here's all the articles down here. Since I do it kind of claim by claim, I can break it up into points, and I use these points to give it somewhat of a grade to get an idea on how much of it is legit and how much of it doesn't stand up to scrutiny. So here you can see the overall grade is 87, about an 88%, so it's a B+. It's good, but not great. And that's out of 241 points so far determined. Today we are on section 3, and we're looking at number 8. So you click this article and it'll bring you right to where you need to be to follow along or to check this out afterwards. These articles are works in progress, so I can update these as I'm doing this video. I will be pointing things out that I missed for myself to be able to go edit it and fix it up after this live stream is over. And I will be keeping an eye on the chat as this live stream goes, so if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them. I actually encourage you to drop them so that I can get some feedback on what you like, what you don't like. Do you think I'm wrong on something? I want to know. And I see we have No Way USA 2013 is in the chat, so he says, yo, sup? I say, what up? No Way, welcome back to the stream. I'm glad to have you here. So I got these articles, I got them up at the top of my browser here just to make clicking back and forth a bit easier. This is the window I'm going to use to do the examination. This one has Fomenko citations, so whenever he cites something, we can go back and look exactly what he's citing. And then this is my citations, my references, and these will come in handy too. So I am about to get started here. Again, if you have any questions or comments, drop them in the chat. So this episode is about the Shroud of Turin. That's what it focuses on a lot. And this is a really popular item too. Some people today still think that it is legitimately from the 1st century, that it actually is the shroud that Jesus Christ was buried in. Do you think it is? I'm not entirely convinced, but I'm open to being persuaded. So in this exam, I'm going to read the claim and then I'm going to give a little bit of commentary on it. So claim 1 says, the reports, and this is Fomenko, this is from his book. I've taken these quotes out of the book line by line. So if you go and read his book, you can find this in there word for word. It says, the reports of the carbon dating of one of the most famous Christian holy objects, the Shroud of Turin, had caused a great resonance in 1988. And this is true. It was an incredibly controversial moment when there were archaeologists and historians saying that we have strong evidence that this shroud is not from the 1st century AD. And I think there were objections raised prior to this, but the carbon dating, given its authoritative air, this was a very controversial event. So that's supported. He gets a point for that. Claim 2, he says, according to the traditional version, this piece of cloth bears the image of the body of crucified Christ and is dated to the 1st century AD, allegedly being about 2,000 years old. And this is also supported. This is very common knowledge, so it would be bad if he got even that wrong. But here we go. On claim 3 is when he slips up. He says, however, radiocarbon datings have given a different dating, roughly 11th to 13th century AD. And this is just not true. This is not what the report says. So I've got the report that he's talking about is this one. I have it as number 3 in my references, Radiocarbon Dating the Shroud of Turin. You can get all the information you need from that. So Fomenko claims that these carbon datings dated it to the 11th to 13th century, but that is not true. The truth is that the results claimed 1260 to 1930, which is 13th to 14th centuries. So where Fomenko has it in the thousands to 1200s, the actual report says that it's in the 1200s to 1300s, which is still pretty close, but it's not accurate, so he gets a point off for that. And actually, there were no results in this study that stated 11th to 13th. Sample 2. So what happened with this is they took some fragments off of the shroud to carbon date those, and they used 3 other samples to help. I think the purpose was to make sure that the machines were accurate. So these 3 others were of known age, allegedly, and they dated them accurately to the age that they were supposed to, and so this Shroud of Turin dating is considered accurate because of the buffering, which I understand. That makes sense. You would want to test these machines to see if they are accurate. If one machine gives a date for a known object that's 1,000 years too much and the same machine gives it for another that's 1,000 too low, I'm not sure that machine would be reliable. But if you get 3 objects that all date to the time period they're expected to date to, then I think that's how they check it for accuracy. So Fomenko's wrong about the dating. That's claim 3, pretty much. Sample 2. So for these samples, it was not of the shroud. It was a linen sample from an unrelated tomb that had been dated to the 11th to 12th centuries prior to the carbon testing, and then it dated with carbon dating to the 11th to 12th centuries. But this was not from the shroud. So, and it's basically the same with the other stuff too. So claim 4 is that the radiocarbon analysis has been conducted in 3 laboratories: Oxford University, Arizona University, and the Swiss Technological Institute in Zurich. and that is supported. Here's the quick little bit: Arizona, Oxford, and Zurich. But yeah, you can find this in the references. Angel, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. What up? We're going through the Shroud of Turin, Fomenko's commentary on it. So far, he has a 75% on these 4 claims. Overall, his grade for this part is a 76%, so he's got a C+, which is not fantastic. It looks like this these first 4 claims kind of can represent the greater whole, even though that is technically a fallacy of composition. This 4th basically does represent the whole. So we got claim 4 supported. He did get the laboratory locations correct. Claim 5 is, he says, a scientific work specially dedicated to the radiocarbon dating of the Shroud of Turin claims the linen fabric that the shroud is made of to have been produced between 1050 and 1350. I haven't seen this work yet, so I have this as undetermined. This is one of Fomenko's citations I haven't been able to check. It's the Bayesian approach to interpreting archaeological data. If anybody has access to this article or can give me more information on where to access it, I would appreciate that, to check that out. I'm not sure if there's going to be much of a problem with that. So claim 6, he says, the authors, and this is undetermined again because I don't have the citation yet. The authors cite the result of the Shroud's radiocarbon analysis performed in the library of the Oxford University. So those 2 are undetermined. I'm still trying to work those out. Claim 7 is the laboratories of Arizona and Zurich have given more recent datings, 1304 and 1274. And then he mentions the error rates. So let's see. The laboratories of Arizona and Zurich. We can check this out. This is the Shroud dates. So 646. Have to do some math on the spot here. I'm not going to wait to do that. So I have this marked as contradicted. I haven't reviewed Fomenko's citation, but if he reported their information accurately, their info is still contradicted because those numbers don't appear anywhere in the results from what I can tell. Because you can see them right here. So here's the plus or minus. We got 31, 30, 24, and Fomenko says we don't have any of those here. 31. So 31, he says, from Arizona. But the dating 1304, respectively. So what would that be? 1304. This is... I'm pulling up my calculator. Maybe I got this wrong. Well, even if the Arizona one is right, he still, I think, got the Oxford Zurich wrong. 27. Yeah, it was 24, not 27. Minor detail, but still sloppy reporting. All right, I'm doing this calculation real quick. So this was 1988 that they did the testing, minus 1304. 684. So that's what did he say? 1304. So yeah, that number is off. So he gets both those wrong. I might take another point off for that since he messed up 2 spots there. And he might have messed this one up too. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll check that after the stream. So claim 8, he just states what's pretty well known, that the results have been shocking for many. Claim 9, he goes, in September 1988, a report appeared telling of the analysis and the fact that it gave a certain dating of the Shroud's fabric, which was 1,000 years more recent than the alleged date of Christ's death, even if the Shroud is dated as an 11th century artifact. So this I have marked as supported. This was back in March, so this article was published in March. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. This is my state of rigor and scholarship as of March, and I have gotten better since then. I need to go back and update these articles to make them a bit stronger. So citation 46, what do I have as number 7 here? Alright, looks like I didn't fill it out. This is maybe his citation. Let me check. What does he have it as? 46 is miracle or scientific mystery. And yes, I think that's what this is. So yeah, it looks like it. So I guess this is supported by that article here. Oh yeah, miracle. Says it at the top. So in September, yep, that's what he's quoting. He did get the quote right. As you can see, there's quotations around that. The author ceases the discussion of the dating after this and begins to ponder the veracity of Christ's image as seen on the shroud. Does he say it's 11th? Page 25 is what that was? Now I'll check it after, but I will add a note here for future readers. Claim 10. One arrives to the following conclusions. Either the Shroud of Turin is a forgery. 2. The radiocarbon datings can contain errors of several centuries or even millennia. Or 3. Or the Shroud of Turin is original, but dated to the 11th or 13th century. If this be the case, it is natural to ask about the century that Christ's lifetime falls on. Could it have really been the 11th? And this is contradicted. There are more options than just the above 3. For example, a newer carbon dating could place the shroud in a different location, but really the main point is this. It's not dated to the 11th to 13th centuries. It's dated to the 13th to 14th, and Fomenko got that wrong the first time he said it, and it's still wrong the second time that he said it. So claim 11, the radiocarbon dating of the Shroud of Turin to the 11th to 13th century AD made the historians rather worried and provoked a series of attempts to refute the result. And I have this marked as supported, but I do not have it cited, so I have to go back. I would not quote me on this. I'm not sure why I would have it supported since this is wrong, so I'm actually just going to edit that live here on the stream because that is a big mistake right there. And this will also influence the grade that Fomenko gets at the end. Also, if you see issues like this on my articles, please point them out to me because that is not how I want to have things around here. So where were we? Claim 11 is contradicted because that dating is wrong. I'll edit this to add more of an explanation here after the stream is done too. Alright. So claim 12 is cited here. I haven't been able to see this report, so I don't know if it's accurate or not. But yeah, if you have access to this, let me know. I would love to get this claim determined. So claim 13 is about that article. I'm not even going to bother reading it because it's undetermined for now. So let me know if you have access to that article. Claim 14 is the shroud could allegedly fall prey to a fungus in the 11th to 13th centuries that may have affected the radiocarbon dating. I have this as supported, but it is, I think the reason why is because this is something that was brought up, and I think maybe that's what claim 11 was on 6. The historians talking about how the results are wrong. So let me go back and edit this again, because he's got the dates wrong, 11th to 13th centuries. He runs with that the whole time through here, which is just wrong. So I'm going to do supported and contradicted. I'm just making a short note here to remind myself why. And up here, I'm going to do this as a note to remind myself. I'm going to update this right here after the stream is over. So we just did claim 14, the fungus prey. That is something that historians said. Well, it's something someone said. It might not be historians. I'll have to double check that. But these dates are wrong. The shroud did not date to the 11th to 13th centuries. Claim 15 is undetermined. Fomenko says, however, the scientists have no opportunity of conducting further research since the Catholic Church refused to provide any more specimens, and even insisted on the return of all the ones that were at the scientists' disposal. Same source. So he says this is from the same source, which I would imagine is this guy's report. So again, please let me know if you have access to this. I think this is true, though, about the Catholic Church refusing and asking for those back. I don't think they were too enthusiastic about these results. So I put claim 16 as reported because the carbon method was exposed to the public through this. It gained a lot of publicity. Claim 17 says, claim 16 is, since the results of the radiocarbon dating of the Shroud gave results that contradicted the Scaligean dating of the life of Jesus Christ, the radiocarbon method had to be exposed to public attention. And what he's talking about here is the dating of Christ to the first century CE. So that gave some publicity to carbon dating. Claim 17 is the protection of the Scaligean dating of Christ's life had been provided by the publication of new facts important enough to considerably aggravate the dubiety of the radiocarbon method and what concerns its application to historical chronology, already great enough. So I have that as supported, but looking back on this without a citation, I am not sure about that. I'm not sure why I was so sloppy back on doing this. So I'm gonna have to update this as well. I'm gonna say citation needed on there. This is adding citations in is important for anyone watching. You want to know where someone is getting their information. I want to know where I've gotten my information. My memory isn't perfect, and so I need to remember to cite everything. Alright. So now that I got that there, claim 18 is, let us quote some of the critical materials belonging to the proponents of the Scaligean chronology. The publication belongs to Rev Gleb Khalida, a prominent geologist, professor, and doctor of sciences. 358 is supported because that is the correct citation that he's got there, and it does talk about this. He does quote from it. So claim 19 is also C717. So what is that from him? Is Radiocarbon. This is the leading radiocarbon journal in the world, and I say that right there. So let's see. Claim 20, he has a long passage here. I'm not going to read all that because I have it marked as undetermined. 358, so that's from his citation there. If you have access to this work, let me know. I would love to settle these undetermined ones. Claim 21 is, in 1997, the German authors Christian Bloss and Hans Ulrich Niemitz have published a book titled, suggestively enough, C14 Crash. And this is supported. I have a link here to the book. I am not aware of any person that has actually reviewed this book. Not any physicists, no carbon dating experts. I haven't seen any dendrochronologists look at it. So if you're an expert, if you know an expert, please, can you read this book? Can you check it out? I would greatly appreciate it. Claim 22 is, it's also, this book is in German, so you gotta speak German. Claim 22 is, they have collected a great body of modern material demonstrating rather convincingly the fact that the radiocarbon method in its current form cannot serve as a valid reason for absolute dating of historical objects. I said I agree with this, and I'm open to discussion as to why it's wrong. I think I did find the book. I've read parts of it through the Google Translate, but after thinking about it, I would want somebody professional that speaks the language to read it, because parts of it do not translate too well. So I'm going to change this to undetermined. I think this is the most that I have had to edit and change what I wrote on any of the ones that I've looked back over. Claim 23 says, more on this can be seen in the bulletin that contains the following critical publications dated 1991 to 1995 that are of interest to us. And this is undetermined because I haven't seen this bulletin. 1491 is looks like it's in German, so if you have access to that, please let me know. I would love to get this figured out. Tona V, welcome to the stream, welcome back to the channel. We're getting through Fomenko's claims about the radiocarbon dating of the Shroud of Turin. If you're listening in, be sure to like the video, share it if you like to share this type of information. If you want to support me, I got donation links in the description. We're on claim 24. I think this is getting just past the halfway mark. Claim 24 says, as we can see, radiocarbon dating might prove more or less effective in analyzing objects whose age is measured by tens and hundreds of millennia. And this is contradicted because carbon dating is only applicable to items under about 50 to 70,000 years old. So I don't see how it could prove more or less effective for anything beyond that range when Fomenko says hundreds of thousands of years. It is really dry here in Michigan right now. Fomenko is saying that this is more or less effective for objects of hundreds of thousands of years of age, but that is not true because it doesn't go really beyond 50 to 70,000. I think maybe 80,000 I've seen a few spots. I'll have to add a citation into this, to the article where I have a collection of all the different things that I've seen, all the different age ranges for this carbon dating. So that's contradicted. Fomenko's wrong about this. We don't see that because it's not true. I mean, some people might see that, but they'd be wrong. Claim 25 says, the errors of tens and thousands of years naturally inherent to the methods are of minor importance here, although this is far from being obvious. And I say this is contradicted because he spent the last few pages of the book emphasizing how important it is that the errors in carbon dating can amount to thousands of years, and here he says they're of minor importance. So this kind of feels like a 180, but after reading back, I might just have to change this to supported, because I think he's talking about the eras of tens of thousands of years, where 1,000 years here and there isn't too bad. So I might have to update that one. The errors of tens and thousands of years naturally inherent to the methods. I think I'm going to still keep this as contradicted, because he's saying the errors of tens and thousands of years naturally inherent to the methods are of minor importance here. For this age range. Let me know what you think. Is he talking about just the age range that is outside of recorded human history? I'm going to go ahead and mark that as supported for now. I am trying to make up my mind on this. I think Tona V is saying that it's a hard decision to make here. I am just going to go ahead and mark this undetermined and say that the language is too ambiguous to decide for now. And all these notes are going to get smoothed out here after the live stream when I go back in to make it smoother. Claim 26. However, the mechanical use of the method for the dating of objects no older than 2,000 years, which is the historical epoch that interests us most than what concerns the reconstruction of the true history of documented civilization, appears perfectly impossible without being preceded by extensive and detailed statistical research and calibrations employing specimens of known age. And this I have as supported, I think, because, and I'll make this clear here after I update it, but I think it's saying, you know, we do need extensive and detailed statistical research and calibrations, and as we gain this, that's my understanding, is that that's how carbon dating is getting more and more accurate. So by employing specimens of known age, we can gain the statistical research and calibrate it more accurately. So that is supported. Claim 27 goes, as far as we know, no such research ever took place, so there are no referential statistics to be had. Claim 27 is undetermined, but I'm leaning towards contradicted because I think they know that some of this research has taken place, and like, for example, the 3 other samples dated in the study on the Shroud, where they can use those as references to argue for the accuracy of the machine. So undetermined, leaning towards contradicted on that part. Claim 28 says, there is also no knowledge of whether improving the method's precision is a possibility at all. This is undetermined, but I'm pretty sure that's a possibility that we can improve the precision of the method. But I have it undetermined because it's kind of an ambiguous thing to say. There is no knowledge of whether improving the method's precision is a possibility at all. I don't know about that. I think that there is definitely ways we can improve it. So then we got claim 29. It says C718, which is this one. I don't know if I found that. Did I? It doesn't look like it. So this is undetermined. I might be able to figure this one out. I might have to put it contradicted if this doesn't exist. I think I looked for it, but maybe. Let's just see if I can find it right now real quick. I think I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. So I might have to put that as contradicted as being a faulty citation. But until now, I'm going to keep it undetermined. Alright, we got 37 claims to get through, so we're on 30. Yep. Alright, we got another comment in the chat. Tona V says, it would be hard to indicate really good carbon dating due to the lack of information in relation to cataclysmic events that have not been mentioned or have been suppressed. Maybe, but until we have evidence, there's no reason to think that any of that happened. So, claim 30 is other physical dating methods do exist. Unfortunately, the spectrum of their applicability is considerably more limited than that of the radiocarbon method, and their precision is also insufficient for the historical epochs relevant to our ends. So it's undetermined, what other methods is he mentioning here? He keeps it very vague and basically just says that they're worse than the carbon method and that their precision is not good enough. So this is just unsubstantiated. He doesn't add any citation or anything to back that up. But there is a way to test this. It would just take a knowledge of every other physical dating method that exists to determine which ones he's talking about, which isn't something I'm opposed to learning about. So claim 31, he says, for instance, in the early 20th century, some scientists proposed to define the ages of buildings by the shrinkage of their foundations or the deformation of columns. However, no steps have been made in this direction due to the impossibility of calibrating this method and estimating the real shrinkage and deformation speed. This is undetermined. He didn't offer any citation for this. I tried to find something about the shrinkage, the deformation of columns, but I didn't see anything back then. This just reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where George Costanza goes in the pool. So claim 32 is Fomenko saying, 2 more methods have been suggested for dating ceramics, the archaeomagnetic method and the thermoluminescent method. And this is supported. I don't know why I didn't add a citation there. That is lazy scholarship. Claim 33. I'll get a citation added in here after the stream is over. This will be a nice article that you can reference if you're ever talking to someone about Fomenko's new chronology. So claim 33, they have calibration issues of their own. That's also supported. Claim 34, the archaeological dating offered by these methods for the Eastern Europe, for instance, are limited to the Middle Ages. And this is contradicted. Here I have an article cited that communicated the age range for thermoluminescence is about 500 to 500,000 years old. So that is not just the Middle Ages, it's all of the Middle Ages and antiquity. And some can even say it can be used to date items from the present, so even within the past 5,000 years. I got citations for both of those. Here's this one, it's in the Encyclopedia of Quaternary Science, and this other one is from the Luminescence Research Laboratory in Arizona, I think. Actually, maybe in the UK. What is this one? University of Glasgow. Oh, alright, so it looks like this page is broken now, or it's gone, but that is where I got it from. What happened, University of Glasgow? Where'd that page go? Claim 35. One shouldn't exclude the possibility that an embalmed body had really been wrapped in this linen at some point. So that's supported. I mean, I'm not sure why that would be excluded. Potentially, you know, if they had a way to test for that. Is there something that we can test on linens that shows every time this linen definitely had a body in it and this linen didn't? Let me know what you think. I'm gonna actually mark this as undetermined until I can get that until we can get that sorted out. So we just did claim 35. We need to test this claim. Claim 36, we got 2 left here to go. Be sure again, drop any comments or questions in the chat here, and I will get to them at the end of the stream. So claim 36, Fomenko says, let us remind that the ancient Egyptians had the practice of wrapping up a body in several tight layers of cloth saturated with various elixirs. And this is supported. I'm going to need to get a citation on that though. And again, this is back in March, so I have definitely learned since then. I have come a long way over the course of the last 9 months or so. Claim 37 says, this may have resulted in a carbon copy of a body on the fabric of the cloth, which was later removed for some reason and stored with great care. So potentially this could happen, but why do I have that as supported? I do not know. I will need to get a citation for that. So this article is going to need to undergo some serious revision here. Alright, well, that is the end for this one. I don't have a score that I can give to you this very moment, but I mean, I guess if I'm going to be putting chapters in, I forget to mention that. I got to make a note of it. I add chapters into these videos at the very end after I'm done streaming so that you can skip to whatever part you want in the video. I will add a chapter in at the very end where I conduct my grading. So again, ask any questions that you have in the chat, and I'm going to add up the new grade as it stands right now so that you can see exactly where I'm at with it. Helmet has a message. He says he remembers a show regarding the Shroud, and the hypothesis was that the image on the cloth was a negative photo image. I think this could be possible today with the right chemicals and cloth. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about. I think that I have heard of the idea that this was added on later. It's not the result of actually having a person in there, but I don't know enough to say one way or the other on that. But here I am. I'm gonna quick grade this and then tell you all what the result is. Evdog for Mayor, welcome to the stream. Welcome back to the channel. Much love out to you too. I am quickly just grading the new results. So it looks like I lost 4 points on the supported. I'm gonna count the contradicted now. I think I just counted 7. Do the undetermined next. Alright, so I got the new totals calculated. I just got to do the math on them real quick. So Fomenko score as of now is a D+. Worse than a C+. Does a D get a degree? I don't know. Either way, that is not a great score for now. He gets quite a bit wrong in this part. It's not an F though. He does get an F later on in this series. If you stick around, you'll find out. So that is that. I don't see any other questions in the chat, so Fomenko got a D+ on this part of his exam. I will update the main article here after I end the stream. So once again, if you like what I do, be sure to help me out with a donation or become a patron and get access to cool stuff like this poll that I do every week and the update videos that I got going. I'm gonna be streaming another portion of this tomorrow, so keep an eye out for it. Hit the like button, drop a comment, share this with your friends, and then I also need to give a thanks to my patrons, the ones I do have, because I appreciate you all and your continued support for my endeavor to explore the world of chronology. And chronology is the study of time, exploring history, understanding why do people order the things in their history the way that they do. Every person has their own history. Everything has its own history. How do we organize its events? That's what chronology looks into. So thank you all for your support in this very niche endeavor. And until next time, which will be tomorrow, take it easy.